Tyrann Mathieu with some observations about Mac Jones. He says Mac Jones wasn't trendy enough for you all at first. Now y'all love him, man. Y'all funny day in and day out. Y'all should be on Comedy Central. I love Tyrann Mathieu, by the way. He don't throw sidearm or run fast, so people knocked him. Dude can play QB, period. And that's a confusing take because there's been a lot of pushback that I've noticed against the people who claim that Mac Jones is great and that Mac Jones is being excessively praised. And there's almost like the anti-Tua mafia. Like there's the mafia of the people who are looking to criticize those who dare praise Mac Jones and his dad bod. That's what I've noticed, that you can't say anything good about Mac Jones or they come after you the way they come after you if you say something bad about Tua. Maybe it's all the same people.
It probably is. Yeah, they all like oh my goodness, they're the AFC East mafia maybe, and not just the Tua mafia. It's interesting. But I love Honey Badger too, by the way. He's one of my favorites.
Yeah, absolutely. And he had a fumble recovery the other night. Well, it was handed to him by Deshaun Jackson. I just keep waiting for him to have a moment. And he's a great leader. I loved him with the Cardinals, and he's a great member of that Kansas City Chiefs defense. All right, so what we're going to do, and I may have accidentally said 2015 draft earlier. If I did, I apologize. I was thinking 15 picks saw 5 quarterbacks taken, and the neurons misfired, as they often do. So what we're going to do now, with the 5 teams who took quarterbacks in round 1, we're going to go back and see who we think they should take now, knowing what we know now. Myles, I'll start with you. With the first overall pick in the 2021 draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars take who or whom?
Trevor Lawrence. I think that they stick with the same guy. And honestly, I think it because even though things have not necessarily worked out as well as Urban Meyer might have hoped that they would early on in Trevor Lawrence's career, I think the potential is still there. And frankly, I think that based on everything that we knew about Trevor Lawrence since he started as a true freshman with Clemson, won a national championship, he was already basically anointed then as the future number 1 overall pick of the 2021 draft. I don't think that anything we've seen so far would make us think, wow, he can't do anything, he's going to be a bust, right? And obviously, we're way too early on this, blah, 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 blah. But I just feel like if they could do it all over again, at this point, they'd still make that same decision.
I think, and I didn't want it to be me agreeing with you, because if we agree on the first one, then maybe we'll agree on the second one. It's not going to be any fun.
It's true.
Urban Meyer was at Ohio State. Justin Fields was at Ohio State. I think the benefit of seeing what Justin Fields can do at the NFL level would have been enough to get Urban Meyer to pivot back to Justin Fields. Having that half of a season of laboratory experiment to see what Fields is on the verge of becoming, I think that would be enough to get Meyer to say, I want my Ohio State guy. So even though I'm not suggesting Lawrence is going to be a bust, I think if he had that crystal ball and knew that Fields wasn't going to be a bust, he'd have been more comfortable taking Fields.
I think that that's a fair argument, and I think that Justin Fields has shown that he could be the best quarterback out of this class, which is why I think if we had to do a redraft today, I'm giving Justin Fields to the New York Jets because, look, and I don't want to kill Zach Wilson right now, but I just feel like from what we've seen, especially that last drive that Justin Fields had against Pittsburgh a couple weeks ago. I mean, yes, Pittsburgh ended up winning that game, but I think what we saw from Justin Fields was a guy take his team down the field and put them in position to win with some really accurate, dynamic throws. And that's all you can ask for, I feel like, from a rookie QB, is does he show that he can be a dynamic guy? I really, really feel like Justin Fields has shown that. And frankly, I think that he might have shown it a little bit more at the college level, especially given the level of competition that he was going against at Ohio State and some of these other quarterbacks that were drafted before him.
I think the Jets would take Trevor Lawrence at this point because they probably assume that their inability to properly coach Zach Wilson is a him problem, not a them problem. So if Fields is off the board, because I agree with you, if Fields is there, they'd take him. Fields is off the board, they take Lawrence, because I think they're more inclined to blame Wilson than themselves for the fact that Wilson has yet to be what everyone thought Wilson was going to be.
Yeah, and I think that that makes a lot of sense. But it also makes sense for me if we start looking at San Francisco at third overall, if they finally get Mac Jones. And that's the guy we kind of started the segment with. But look, Mac Jones looked like he was the most pro-ready quarterback at Alabama. And I think now that he's been in the league, some of this certainly has to do with the way the Patriots are bringing him along slowly and steadily. But he looks like the best of the bunch right now. Right? And that's not necessarily a surprise to me, again, given the environment that he got drafted into and the sort of similarities that you might say between the programs of Alabama and then the New England Patriots, given how close their head coaches are, Nick Saban and Bill Belichick. So I think that because of that, there were already some rumblings, a lot of rumblings before the draft that San Francisco wanted Mac Jones. At this point, I feel like if they had done it and if they took him now, we wouldn't be seeing Jimmy Garoppolo still out there and they would have saved themselves $20 million.
Well, and I know there are plenty of 49ers fans blindly loyal to the organization, and I respect them for that. They will not tolerate anyone saying that Kyle Shanahan wanted Mac Jones, but people who know believe that he wanted Mac Jones and someone talked him out of wanting Mac Jones and pivoting to Trey Lance. Now, as we started to talk about Mac Jones, it occurred to me maybe the Jets would take Mac Jones just to keep him away from the Patriots. Just as the net gain, like we talked about with Browns Steelers, possibly tug of war for Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson. I hadn't thought about that angle. But I'm not going to amend my pick. It's too late to go back and unplow the ground. I'll say Zach Wilson to the 49ers because Zach Wilson would give Kyle Shanahan the hybrid that I think he was looking for, the guy who can be the pocket passer and run the offense the way that Shanahan wants it to be run, but also improvise as needed, move around in the pocket, fling the ball the way Patrick Mahomes does. That goes a long way toward rectifying the decision to not take Patrick Mahomes, and I think that Kyle Shanahan would do a much better job of coaching him up than the Jets did. Then again, Mike LaFleur was with Kyle Shanahan in San Francisco, and it's yet to really work out for Zach Wilson. But I think that the just total and complete lack of talent on the Jets roster has a lot to do with it. But I think that the way the board's played out on my side, Zach Wilson goes to the 49ers at number 3.
All right. I mean, I agree with that. I think that that makes a good amount of sense. But so to recap, I guess, so I've got Trevor Lawrence still going to Jacksonville, Justin Fields to the Jets, Mac Jones to the 49ers. So now we're at 11 with Chicago, and they traded to get to that pick. But if they had to trade again, it probably would go with Trey Lance at this point, the way that the board has fallen, right? Because I think in an ideal world, Trey Lance is the kind of guy that can both run it and can both pass it, right? We've seen him do that a little bit at North Dakota State. Now, it's been a long time since he's been able to do that. And I think that one start that he had against the Arizona Cardinals showed that he's probably not quite ready yet to take over as a full-time starter with San Francisco. But the thing that Matt Nagy wanted to do with Justin Fields and talked about it a lot was give him that Patrick Mahomes type red shirt year that he experienced with Kansas City. So now I think we see that if Trey Lance could go there and you still have the Red Rocket and Andy Dalton, maybe that's something that they would feel comfortable with. And, now we've seen Justin Fields take over and he's done a good enough job. But Trey Lance, I think, would still be in a good situation if he went to Chicago, got that red shirt year, and then who knows what would happen next.
And look, if Trey Lance had trickled past number 3, there may have been other teams that tried to trade up to get him. There was some chatter that maybe Washington would do that. There was also a thought that Lance's representation really didn't quite know where the bottom would be if he wasn't taken at number 3. And I don't know enough about what the Bears were thinking when they traded up to get Fields to be confident they would trade up to get Lance. But if they trade up from 20 to 11, given the way the board's played out for me, with Fields, Lawrence, and Wilson gone, then yeah, Lance would be the guy they would trade up to get, not Mac Jones. I think that's simple. And even though the Bears aren't winning, I do think Fields is the best of the bunch from an overall ability standpoint, and maybe we would be saying the same thing about Lance if he had had the opportunity to come in and play and develop. That's the problem in San Francisco, and Kyle Shanahan was asked about this yesterday. 3 straight games, not a single game rep for Trey Lance, even though he's healthy, and Shanahan talked about the importance of being out there and reading defenses and being blitzed and having to make those decisions. Well, you're not giving him a chance to do it, which is only going to make it harder for him next year. Every rep he takes this year is a heads up, is an advance, is money in the bank to get him ready for next year, and he may not be ready next year either. They may have to keep Garoppolo around for 2022.
Well, it's just, I mean, like, but if you're going to do that, then why in the world would you trade up that high to get that guy in the first place, right? This just, everything that they've done just kind of doesn't make much sense. Well,
Molly.
I don't know. Percocets. Jeez, Mike, you're gonna get us in trouble, bro.
We're not. Trust me. If I didn't get in trouble this morning after what we did with the bad officiating calls, I'm golden. We're just joking.
Okay.
We're not suggesting that anyone actually is, may be, or has used drugs in anticipation of exercising their picks in the draft. All right. So what do the Patriots do at 15 with Mac Jones gone and Trevor Lawrence gone, Justin Fields and Trey Lance also off the board under your scenario? Do they take Zach Wilson, or do they say, nah, we'll take somebody else altogether?
I think they would have taken somebody else altogether. I feel like if the board had played out this way, they probably trade down. Maybe somebody else comes up and gets Zach Wilson. But I don't necessarily see Zach Wilson playing for the New England Patriots. And I mean, I don't know if that's just my bias based on what I've seen from him in the league at this point. But I don't know. I don't feel like he's the kind of quarterback that exactly fits what they want to do. And I mean, we could have said the same thing about Cam Newton, I suppose. But I don't know. It just doesn't seem like it's the right fit to me, Zach Wilson and the New England Patriots. So I think that they probably would have traded down and somebody else could have had Zach Wilson.
I don't disagree with that. Although if there was a way, and this is all hypothetical, but I think the fact that Zach Wilson hasn't become what the Jets thought he was going to be could actually attract Bill Belichick to showing the Jets how it's done. Here's how you turn this guy into a franchise quarterback. Under my scenario, though, Mac Jones is still available, although we know what would have happened. If Jones is there past 3, somebody's trading up to get Mac Jones. One of these teams, other than the Bears or Patriots, will end up with Mac Jones at 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, wherever. Patriots aren't going to get him unless they trade up to get him, given what we know now. All right, fun exercise, completely meaningless, but still enjoyable look at how the quarterbacks would be redrafted if there was an opportunity to do it. And here we are. They're working hard in the control room to prepare the graphics to show how we see it happening if they were going to do it again. So now you know, and now you can make your own list. Play along at home if you want, because none of it means anything. It just gives us something to talk about on one of the slower Wednesdays in recent weeks because no starting quarterbacks ended up being secretly unvaccinated today other than Joe Flacco, but nobody really cares about that.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.